Tanacon got canceled. This weekend was promised to be filled with the possibility to meet all my favorite creators for free or for the small price of $65. Let me tell you what $65 got me. It got me a disgusting sunburn on my shoulders, chest, and scalp. I got a really bad sunburn for waiting in line for 4 hours for literally nothing.
Joining us from her home in Orange County, California is Amanda. Amanda, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm glad you're here because you were there. Why did you feel it was important to participate today and weigh in on what took place?
Well, I felt it was important because even at the event itself, I felt like the safety of attendees wasn't even thought of. Not only just security-wise, refreshments-wise, there was no food or water available aside from the hotel Starbucks. This was an event that was mostly attended by children and young teenagers. Myself included, I was 20 at the time. I went alone, but I ended up becoming a makeshift mom for half of the kids there because no one knew what was going on, and it was so stuffed.
Right, so you were kind of momming out there, helping some of these kids, helping a mother find her. I mean, you were doing kind of what there should have been controls to take care of, particularly when you have a magnet for young people, right?
Yes.
Okay, and so...
Can I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
First off, I would like to say that I'm sorry that you experienced that. I would also like to address, there's been a common misconception that there wasn't food or water when we actually had over 10 food trucks in the back of the parking lot open to anyone. As far as I know...
Michael.
Go ahead.
Hi, 1 second. So once you got inside, you couldn't leave because they wouldn't let you back inside. So how am I waiting in line? Security that you hired, your event staff, because what's being ignored is how long the wait times is. I got in line before around 7 a.m. I didn't got in at noon. Once you were inside, they made it clear if you want to leave, you have to go all the way back to the end of the line. So if I'm hungry and I have to go and wait to the food trucks, I'm either leaving my line or I'm leaving the event. We can talk about some of the lies you mentioned earlier when I was watching your intro. We can talk about that.
Okay.
Well, for example, something that's being admitted is that you reached out to Tana because she put out her video. The video went up a month before VidCon and Tanacon. So this whole event was planned in a month. That's not being discussed.
A month?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's talk about some of the things you're talking about. So there was a 5-hour wait to get inside, and you were one of the first ones there?
I was one of the 1,000 people about that got inside.
Okay, and so you were there, when you got there at 7 a.m., were there a lot of people there?
In line, yes.
Okay.
And I'll say this.
And you got in, but you got in.
Yes, I got in.
But once you got in after waiting 5 hours, there were no concessions inside to...
No, there was the Starbucks and there was the hotel gift shop, I believe, which I didn't even try to fight the crowds in there because they were already packed.
There was a full-service restaurant in there as well that we paid
That was
substantial
not
amount.
open to attendees. There was a sign that said featured creators only, which was for the actual influencers of the event on the lineup.
Ultimately, there was a lot of things that went wrong, which is why I made the decision to cancel it. But there's also a lot of misinformation out there. Now, due to VidCon being in the area, we had one choice for security, and we bought every employee that they had. I maxed out their entire team. Like, I bought every single employee that security company had.
When did you do that?
When we planned the event months before, we had our director of the event. Ultimately, we went through walkthroughs with them, walkthrough with that. So everyone was supposed to be allowed back into the event. You weren't supposed to go back into the line. Once you checked in, there was a separate entrance to the right that was pre-checked in.
Also, side note, you're saying on the back lot, the lot with, I remember the food trucks you're talking about because I saw them, because I mentioned, I don't know if they pulled up because of this or because they were hired to be there. They were across the street in a side lot outside of the hotel.
We didn't tell the food trucks what to park. We have partners and staff. Like, at the end of the day, I have a huge team to run. But I'm not here to relive the past or talk to you about those kind of things. Again, I'm sorry that you had that experience. That's why I made the decision to, if I could speak, that's why I made the decision to cancel the event for safety. At the end of the day, you think I wanted to cancel it? I knew when I made that call that I would lose everything I had built in my career. Ultimately, it was the only choice to do. And I'm so sorry that you had to experience that. I am, truly. Do you think that's worth me killing myself over?
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.